Good morning. It's Lisa with Lisa Heal Yourself. And today I want to talk about resistance. I want to talk about letting go. And I want to talk to you about why life is so difficult, right? Life is difficult when you are in resistance. When you're resisting the way things are, life is difficult. I could just stop the video here. I mean, doesn't that just say it all? However, let's get a little deeper. And when we're talking about chronic illness, chronic symptoms of any kind, mental, emotional, spiritual, physical, disease, illness, whatever you have, the worst part about it is that it's hard. It is so hard. It's a long road. There's so much going on. It's hard and it's painful to experience symptoms, right? It's hard and it's painful, and we don't want it. And we are trying to get away from it. And because we're trying so hard to get away from the very thing that we dislike so much, and we're resisting feeling, when we resist it, anything, it gets harder. So, there's some trucks up there with some crazy loud sounds. So, I'm not suggesting that you just give up, or surrender it, or don't try to get better, or don't try to get through it, or don't fight it, or don't try to get away from it, or don't whatever. I mean, your biology is set up to do that. Your fight, flight, or freeze response is set up to try to get you away from danger. But when we have a chronic problem, let's just call it a chronic problem, okay? You know what I'm talking about. It could be pain, it could be cancer, it could be depression, whatever your chronic condition is, chronic problem, it's going to get worse if you resist it. So should we wallow in it? That's not what I'm saying. But what I am saying is we have to be willing to feel it. Okay, we have to be willing to talk to it. We have to be willing to just feel that feeling that we hate and try to stop running, fighting, and fleeing away from it. Because in doing so, and we can't get away from it because it's inside ourselves, it's coming from our own mind, body, or heart, emotions, soul. And so we can't get away from it like we could run from a tiger or a bear. And so the only thing in this case, since we cannot escape it because it's coming from us, the hardness, I'm not saying the pain will go away or the symptoms will go away, but the suffering, the hardness will go away if we stop resisting that it is happening, that this is it, that it's coming from us. And if we start to investigate, if we start to turn the lights on, if we start to make peace, if we start to make the unconscious conscious, right? If we start to take a look at those feelings, those emotions underneath our symptoms, if we start to look at them, allow them to express, if we stop running from them, stop resisting them, ultimately, eventually, your fight or flight system will stop feeling like it's in chronic danger. It will stop feeling like it's in so much danger, okay? And it will settle. When your central nervous system settles, when it feels safe, your symptoms will also settle down. They will stop firing because they're really only there as a messenger that you're not safe. So, life is hard. Chronic illness is hard. Chronic suffering is hard. I get it. It's hard. It is so hard. But it's so much harder when we resist it, when we're in resistance to ourselves, when we're trying to fight ourselves, escape ourselves, bargain, negotiate with ourselves, when we're trying to, or when we just numb ourselves down and we cannot even allow ourselves to feel anything, right? If we can't feel the pain, we can't feel the joy. So we need to stop resisting. We need to allow so that we can ultimately let go, because letting go is the key. Letting go is the key, because when we let go, stop resisting, we let go, we're at peace in the present moment, magic starts to happen. And I know this sounds like esoteric. It sounds crazy. Like, well, how do I do that? It's practice. It's repetition. You got here from wrong repetition the wrong way, right? Like a smoker doesn't become a smoker because they had one cigarette. It's because they're doing a habit over and over. You didn't get obese because you had a couple of snacks, right? It's because you're doing the same habits over and over and over in the wrong direction. So somebody who is obese isn't going to lose 300 pounds overnight, but they have to go in the right direction. They have to consistently do the right things in the right direction every single day. And a year from now, let's look at the scale and you will see that you've dropped 200 pounds. So this isn't an overnight thing that you can see. And that's why people give up too soon. But regulating the central nervous system, calming your system so that you can allow yourself to feel safe and so that everything can settle in the moment, is all about not resisting how hard it is, right? We always try to stop things when they're hard. We always try to get away from them. It's our natural instinct. And I'm telling you to override your natural instinct and to allow it and to stop resisting it and to settle yourself in, settle your nervous system down anyways, even though the pain might not be going away, just like that obese person might not be losing 200 pounds because he's eating a stick of celery on day 1 or 2 or 3 or 4. But a year from now, he's totally fit and trim. And he understands that it was a process. So stick with the process. Go watch my video on letting go, the steps, the actual steps to letting go, and try it. When you feel overwhelmed, okay, and I know you will, when you feel totally overwhelmed, because there's many things, whether they're symptoms or emotions, triggers for you, people, is flaring up your condition, your problem, right? We tend to get overwhelmed and we say it's too hard, it's too much. That is the exact moment when we need to stop resisting, when we need to let go. So next time you are feeling overwhelmed, you're in that situation, go watch that video. I'll link it below. So I will link the video below. And every time you are feeling overwhelmed by physical symptoms, by emotional triggers, and whether it's physical or emotional, whatever is happening, and maybe you've got a whole bunch of things going on at once, your stress is overloaded, okay? We want to calm that central nervous system, and the way we start to do that is by following the steps to letting go. And we sit in non-resistance, and we're not afraid to turn on the lights to what is actually real, to investigate what actually is in the unconscious. We make that what's in the unconscious conscious, and we just shed light on it. That's all it is. We're just going to walk into a room, turn on the lights, and sit there. Just like a child who's terrified of the dark and is convinced there's a monster. We don't even have to speak. We're just going to say, we're going to sit in this room, we're going to flip the light on, and we're going to stay there. And eventually, the fear of the monster is going to subside. So I hope this video has been helpful. If you're having an overwhelming day, if you're feeling like it's too hard, it's too much, stop resisting. Turn the lights on and just sit a while. It is the exercise that over time will accumulate and help you get back, help you heal, help everything back, so that your central nervous system is now working properly and you're feeling good and your symptoms can go away.